general, there wasn't any one thing that was terrible. It was just our kitchen was getting old. There were a lot of scuffs. The sink we didn't really care for. It was really old and getting kind of gross. And it was difficult deciding what to all do exactly because we thought, well, our house isn't in rough shape where we need to gut and restart over, but there's definitely a few things we want to do to make it look newer. A lot of contractors just don't get back to you, and if they do, it's months after you first contacted them. Justin right away responded and was able to show up and at least talk us through different ideas we had and what might be worth the expense versus what might not be worth the expense based on our ideas, and talk us through parts that we could do to save some money. So we painted the cabinets ourselves and we're wrapping that up too as well. But by far, Justin was the most responsive, and I hear from my coworkers all the time that it's really hard to find good help right now. We chose a remodeling journey because Justin was very transparent in guiding us through which parts of the project were worth doing ourselves, which parts might be worth skipping, and what parts they could do much more quickly or at a higher level of quality than we could. We knew we wanted it to be brighter, and we knew we wanted a design that we wouldn't get sick of quickly, so updating it without being overly trendy. And that changed several times, but one thing Justin was able to do was narrow down a bunch of samples and let us hold on to them for a while so we could put them in different parts of the house and see how the sunlight hit it different times of the day. He also had a huge swatch of paint colors that was the hardest part for us, but we were able to test the colors on the cabinets before going through the color, and it took a while for us to figure out what we wanted, but it was much better than just us being at the home improvement store by ourselves. It was really great to see the designs all together. What we ended up picking was very similar to the suggested portfolio that they put together. They do this to give you an idea, but they don't make you feel bad if you want to change it up. And we ultimately really like the finishes we got, and the photos we've sent to family, they also really like our choices as well. We were on vacation several states away when most of the work was being done, so it was really exciting to check our phone every night and see the progress that had been done. Not only the demolition, because it was fun to see what was underneath our floors and what they did to fix them, which I wouldn't have envisioned ahead of time or known about, and then also seeing the different finishes come together over time. It kind of built up the anticipation and gave us something to look forward to, even though we were bummed out that vacation was almost over. We used Job Dread, and it was great to have all of the invoicing, all of the communication on one platform. It was spot on. We didn't have any delays. There was a minor detail with the countertops where an estimate came back high, but Justin found a different vendor and was able to keep it under budget. The stress was more packing for a vacation and packing up the entire house at once, which is not something people typically do, and we also have an infant, which made it twice as hard to remember where we put everything. But it's definitely worth it in the end. All the hard work, it did pay off. Another thing that happened during the remodel is that we got the first pictures of the flooring planks going in. The lights weren't turned on and the shades were down, so we looked at them and we thought, wow, that's way darker than the sample we thought we had picked out. So I gave Justin a call and said, I don't know if I should say anything or if I'm overreacting at this point. I should wait to see the final product before saying anything. And sure enough, he mentioned, the lights aren't on, the shades are down, it's a zoomed in picture, so it's going to look a lot more grainy, especially on a phone camera, and I'm viewing it on my phone. Once we got back in person, it was much closer to the sample we picked out, and it looks even better than we could have imagined. My favorite part was starting to see the samples, because we knew roughly what we wanted, but it's hard to tell in words exactly what you're looking for. So these countertops, for example, what won us over was that they were a neutral color, but they had a hint of blue in them, so they weren't totally boring. And hopefully they'll last a lifetime. We think that if we ever decide to completely repaint everything, 10, 20 years from now, we'll still find plenty of colors that will match this and that will hold up long term much better than laminate would. The weight and the investment were definitely worth it. It was a lot of wondering if I was making the right choice, or is something going to go wrong? Is there going to be a surprise when I pull up the floor? But in the end, Justin talked me through all the scenarios that could happen and gave us a really detailed description of what they were all doing. So I have peace of mind that they didn't just bury something under this new floor that we don't know about. And he was able to address a few other things, like our toilet started running while we were gone, and there was a shutoff that was missing to the fridge filter. So he took care of those just to keep our house running the way it should. Justin has a lot of experience in this area. Even though he's a younger guy, I think he's got a lot of great ideas and is able to calmly talk people who might be anxious about not knowing if they're making the right decision or not, and give plenty of examples of work he's done or things he's seen other people do to help them arrive at a confident decision when they're picking out their finishes and the scope of their work.